What is up, everybody? Tom The Dilettante here, and today we're going to be jacking around with various mics and cameras to try to learn how to moto-vlog. Now, before we hit the road, let me show you what we're experimenting with today. I've got a couple of cameras, actually three. I've got one, this GoPro Hero 12, mounted on my helmet using a chin mount, and that has a microphone that I got from Amazon connected to it, routed on the inside. So the idea there is to be able to pick up some decent audio, stream it right to the GoPro, so I have audio and video in one file. I'm also going to have this other camera right here. This is the Insta360 One RS pointing at me for that kind of facial view, and then I've got another Insta360 One RS with the 360 lens and the body attached to a selfie stick, hoping to give me a good third-person view. Now, audio, I wanted to experiment with a couple things. I've got the one audio source here, of course. I'm also going to be using one of these wireless DJI mics, and I'm going to put it magnetized to my chest under my jacket with a little dead cat, hoping to block some wind. And the theory is that maybe I can pick up some good voice audio through my chest behind the jacket. One of the first things I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to compare the different audios. I'm going to start with the audio in the GoPro and the helmet mic, and then switch over to this one. And then for the rest of this video, for the rest of this test, I'm just going to pick the audio track that works best. Lastly, I'm going to try to get a little bit more motorcycle sound because I doubt I'm going to pick up much of the engine sound through either of these mics. So for that, I'm going to put the other wireless DJI mic that I've got, and I'm just going to drop it in the back of my pannier here to see whether or not that picks up any audio. And again, throughout this video, I'm going to switch that on and off to see whether or not that makes a difference. So let's hit the road, get some audio and video tracks laid down, then we'll come back and see how well it performed. Okay. Okay, and we killed it because we missed neutral. All right, how does this look? All right, I am now talking through the helmet mic. This is a regular cheap Amazon mic that's going through the media mod of the GoPro Hero 12 Black mounted on my chin. Now, this is the same audio that's coming from the DJI wireless mic that's attached to my chest under my jacket. I'm curious to see which mic sounds better. I mean, I'm hoping that the helmet mic sounds better just because it's more convenient. If I'm using the wireless mic mounted to my chest, I'm going to have to download it as an audio wave file and then sync it in post-production and blah, blah, blah. Whereas the GoPro, if it's just fed through the media mod, will just give me mic, audio and video in one shot. Now, I had tried to do some moto-vlogging while I was on my bike trip out west with moderate success. I learned a lot. So my GoPro Hero 8 mounted to my chin was kind of a failure, kept falling off. The stabilization isn't as good as the stuff that they offer now, which is one of the reasons why I picked up the Hero 12. But to be honest, I'm kind of looking at getting the DJI Action 4. I've heard good things about that, similar price point. I've also heard that it performs better in low light, which might make it a more versatile camera. I don't know. I also placed one of those wireless DJI mics in my saddlebag in an attempt to capture the exhaust noise, because sometimes, depending on whether or not the shield is down, the sound of the bike might not be coming through very well. So this is what it looks like here. It's literally just that wireless mic. It's got internal memory and it's recording. And I put the windsock on it, the little dead cat, hoping to mitigate any shuffling around in this little pocket here. So let's see, you know, this is without the exhaust sound. And here's with the exhaust sound. And of course, I could probably change the levels in post-production, louder or softer. But yeah, again, it's an experiment. Now, I figure the audio is probably going to be clearer if I put the windshield down, but to be honest, I like to keep it up. If I'm riding around in summer, I'll usually keep it up and just have my sunglasses, or if I'm riding around in dirt, I'm just going to put some goggles on, and again, the windshield will be up. So this test is to confirm whether or not the audio is going to come through well with the shield up, and I'm just going to assume that with the shield down, it's just going to be better. From my little connection here, it looks like this GoPro 12 footage is coming in great. Let's see how it looks on the bigger screen, but the stabilization looks fantastic, better than my GoPro Hero 8, certainly better than my 7. And you know, I do want to try putting these Insta360s 1RS on my chin. The media mod for that is just a simple USB-C plug-in. It's less cumbersome, it's a lot easier to change the battery, which is another thing I like about the DJI Action 4 that I've heard, but my God, you know, there's only so much you can spend on cameras and equipment. What a nice day for a ride. It's the first week of November and it's like 70 degrees. Fixing to probably be one of the last days we're going to see as warm as this, so I'll take it. Only problem is you definitely got to watch out for piles of leaves in the road, because those things are slicker than snot and will fuck you up in a heartbeat. Speaking of which, let's just go ahead and turn around. Alright, I'm going to extend my 360 camera, hopefully not get nailed here. Let's go ahead and do you. We're going to experiment to see how this thing rolls. Look at that thing hanging off there all weird. But it should give me an interesting third-person point of view. So I've had this 360 camera over there for a while. I haven't really done much with it. It's another one of these Insta360 1RSs, and the thing that's cool about those is they come with multiple lenses. You can either get a regular lens or this 360 lens, and it's supposed to have the disappearing selfie stick. So my hope is that it's going to give me a little bit of a third-person view. I'll mix it in with this footage and see what it looks like. And you can also pan around 360, allegedly. There's a little bit of a learning curve with the Insta360 app, so we'll have to see how that goes. But overall, I think it's promising. Alright, it is kind of windy. I guess I will test to see what it's like with the shield down. So here is the audio with the shield down. Hopefully, everything I said up to this point was audible. We'll see. Should have been a good test, because not only was the shield open, but it's quite gusty today. Some of you may have noticed that I'm missing the Garmin Navigator 6 that I've had on here before. It's because the thing, to be honest, is kind of garbage. It suddenly started having these ghost finger inputs, like you're touching the screen and going haywire, so much so that the thing's pretty much a brick right now. It's a dust collector. It won't even boot. So I gotta call Garmin and or my dealer to see what we can do about that. More on that later. But overall, I'm kind of liking the setup. It's a lot of cameras, it's a lot to manage. We'll see how it is to edit after the fact. A lot of syncing, I'm sure. But I would like to try again going cross country and documenting how that goes. The goal is to do that in late spring, early summer of 2024. I admit I do feel kind of silly having this big ass camera just dangling off the front of my bike, which is now rotating, so messed something up there, I think. Alright, the 360 camera has now fallen down, so that selfie stick is not going to work. It's supposed to be the kind that you can twist and tighten, but apparently the road vibrations just make it fall down. I have another selfie stick, the one that came with the Insta360s, but I tried using that in Colorado on a dirt trail following my friend Nick in his Outback, and the vibrations there just caused the friction lock that's supposed to hold the thing extended to slowly slip down. So my 360 footage started up here and then slowly ended up here. So, good thing to note. I guess I need a better selfie stick. This thing sure is a pleasure to drive. Alright, let's take a look at our footage. Okay, so we had a number of cameras and audio setups that we tried to test. What we had again was one Insta360 1RS with a regular 4K lens on it facing me. We had another Insta360 1RS with the 360 camera lens on it, and the GoPro Hero 12 with its media mod and the mic inside the helmet. Now, looking at the footage, I've done that already. I'm actually very pleased with how the GoPro turned out. The stabilization was great, the dynamic range on the video was great, and so I think I'm definitely going to keep that as a primary camera on the bike. I might even keep it on the chin mount. One thing I want to experiment with is how well one of these Insta360s works on the chin mount, but I do think that these lack the same wide field of view, or at least the GoPro can go wider. Speaking of these cameras though, I'm going to do a separate video on these. I think a lot of you might find these really interesting. As far as value goes, bang for the buck, you can get one of these cameras and they're modular. The battery, the lens, and the recording device all come apart, and you can actually buy a kit where you get the 4K lens and a 360 lens, so you can switch it out and have a regular GoPro style action camera or a 360 action camera all with one unit. So if you find that interesting, want to learn more about that, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to try to prioritize that video. On the 360 one though, I was pretty impressed. I've had this for a bit, but I've been a little intimidated and haven't been trying to play with it much. The footage of this is interesting. You actually have to process it again, either through the Insta360 app on the phone or through their video editor on a Mac or PC. This is what it looks like here. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but what I really like about this camera, and I'll reinforce it on the video that I'll do, is that you can set it up in almost any orientation, and then in post-processing or in the app, you can choose the perspective, the point of view, the zoom, or anything that you want. So in this example, I can have it facing myself, same camera, same location. Without touching it, I can turn it over and point it to the engine or something that I'm working on. So I imagine the abilities, the capabilities of a camera like this would be quite versatile in any kind of content creation. And you just don't have to spend so much time framing up your shot or worrying about the perspective that you got, because you can always readjust that in post. So overall, I'm looking forward to continuing to try to do some of these motorcycle mounted videos. Winter's coming, so there's not a whole lot I'll be able to do anytime soon. But next year I do want to do another trip or two. And I even want to get a smaller dirt bike someday, like a CRF 300L, and take that along with me in the GX. And you know the drill. Lofty dreams. I've put links to the equipment that I've used in this video in the description below. That's going to include the Insta360 1RS cameras, as well as the GoPro and the inexpensive mic that I put inside my helmet. The chin mount is a separate thing. This is a small company that basically 3D prints chin mounts that custom fit to a variety of helmet makes and models and brands. So this one was for my climb helmet, and it works pretty good. It is quite sensitive though to the double-sided tape and adhering that correctly. You got to put it on a very clean surface and definitely heat that tape up so that it melts and conforms and contorts to the surface well. I learned that the hard way on my trip out west. Damn thing kept falling off of me, and I'm afraid a lot of that footage is garbage. So today was a great learning experience for me. I learned a lot. I love this kind of stuff. So I think I know what I want to tweak for the next time. If you've got any questions about things I've done, the gear I'm using, please leave them in the comments below. Or if you'd like to see more of this kind of stuff, also let me know. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button, help me out with the algorithm. And until the next time, this is Tom the Dilettante saying thanks for watching, keep on tinkering, and keep on learning. Have a good one.